Uh, I personally first encountered my this particular piece of media that I decided to do a visual audio spoof or scoop on. I'd have to say during the early '90s. When my first memories kicked in, I was just a young lad, if I could remember correctly. No, actually, so it had to be about 93, 94 when I first started remembering. And so what I wanted to talk about was the Disney Renaissance. Um, it started during the early '90s, went on until about the early 2000s, maybe 2005. The last one, if I could remember right, might have been. It was after Mulan, so it might have been like Tarzan or something like that. So yeah, starting at about '93, the first one I would have to say might have been Aladdin. No, actually, it would have been either Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast. Following after, so would have been Aladdin or The Lion King. Then Pocahontas. Um, what emotional effect did it have on me? It pretty much shaped and molded my idea of not television network or commercial um, animated films, though particularly theatrical or theater animations. Um, Other than that, all you pretty much had was, TV shows, 30-minute TV shows. If you remove the commercials, that's 20 minutes. Let's get down to the point of all of this, though. However, um, so yeah, that Disney Renaissance for me, it kind of shaped and molded what the '90s was like. Like these days, if I were to listen to Elton John always takes me to what the Disney era of the early '90s felt like. Um, so yeah, that when I listen to Elton John, I go straight to thinking, hey, Disney of the '90s. That's what it feels like. Can't get that with any other artist. Why is this piece of media my favorite? It's freaking Disney Renaissance. Like I said, as far as like theater animated films go, you didn't get anything like that during that time. Sure there might have been like other films, animated film. No, there weren't other animated films actually. Now that I thought about it, yeah, Disney had it going pretty good, and like I said, they titled this time era the Disney Renaissance, which we have no longer. Um, how does this work inspire me? What inspires me about it is that they took stories from 100 and 200 years ago, or like for example, Pocahontas. That was an actual series of events that had taken place that we didn't even learn about in school until like years after the movie that came out. With James, darn it, what's his name? James. Well, when they founded Jamestown, and the English that came over to America, and they were looking for land, and then there was Pocahontas and her father, and how that story unfolded. I didn't. Most of us didn't know that was actual facts that happened in history that we will later learn about in history class until like after the fact. So it's kind of cool when you get to, hey man, this is something I love watching every day. I got it on VHS, and then you later on find out in school, like years later, like, oh, I'm learning about this. I already know all about this. This makes school and class fun. um the Lion King was shaped and molded after Shakespeare's Hamlet and Macbeth. And Shakespeare being our most sought after and scholared writer of our human nature time. And then also I think the Lion King is really has a religious background personally, that goes way before and beyond Shakespeare. So you add those two components together, boom, like its own universe kind of thing going on there. Let's see, what's another one? Cinderella. Beauty and the Beast. Those are stories from like 200 years ago. Then you got Aladdin. That's a story that probably spans like what, 1,000 years ago. Um, Mulan, another favorite. Released during 1998. I remember the years of all of these movies. But Mulan, Genghis Khan and Mulan, those are actual events that happened in either Korea, China, one of one of those countries. Though those are real events that actually took place. So kids out there not knowing like, hey man, I'm actually learning about real history. They didn't know that until like later on in school, and we were just having fun watching the movies. Disney, Hunchback of Notre Dame, another one. Disney did a great job, and the other cool thing is they made a lot of bank. They made a lot of money off of those movies, and they knew how to, after after the profits that they had budgeted into all of that, they knew what to do with that money, and they expanded, and here we are like almost 20 something years later. Now they're making the real films again. Well, real film adaptations from the animated ones, but between all that time, like what they did with their company, their venues, their marketing, their property, just off of those cartoons that we all adored and loved as kids. Yeah, yeah. Disney and Renaissance kicks ass.